Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Sunday, November 17th, 2024, my newest segment of Markets, A Look Ahead. This is what I want to do with this particular episode. I'm going to give you something early. We are moving right into 2025. The dynamics in play are pretty much in our face. Now, look, if you can just connect the dots, it's all you need to do. You don't got to be a rocket scientist. You and I, can make very accurate calls on what the end is going to be, or the end result of the current dynamics in play. It's really in our face right now, and we got to pay attention to this. Generally at the end of every year, right at the end of every year, I give you what I believe is the most likely outcomes regarding a whole bunch of things. Now, at the end of last year, if you recall, you can go back and look at this yourself. I said a few things would more than likely happen. Pretty much every one has happened already. One of the big things I said specifically was we were going to see mass layoffs moving into 2024, where we are now. We nailed that one to the wall along with a whole bunch of other things. So what I want to talk about here more specifically, and this is really a no-brainer, and I just feel like it's really important, so I want to cover this right here and right now. Yesterday, I wrote this paper for all of you. This will show up in a bunch of publications next week, but you guys and girls get it first. Why? Because I take care of you. You're part of my pride. You're part of this pride of lions. You understand? So, with that said, I want to go through this, outline what's happening here. Look at this title. This should give you a really good idea as to what we can expect moving forward. And I want to hear from you at the end. Greg, you're way off base. Greg, you're on target here. And why I want to focus on this right now is I want you to think about how this is going to affect you moving forward and what action you need to take. Look, this is a channel for people of action, not just people that want to sit back, suck their thumb off, be entertained, some kind of a variety show. We focus on economics and finance, period. That's all we do. If you need some other kind of thing, you're in the wrong place. So again, I want to cover this with all of you. I want to go through it. And I want you to come away from this video with possibly a different perspective. So, or maybe not. Maybe you already understand what's happening here. But this is really important, and let's talk about it. So again, title: Expect hyper-accelerated currency devaluation moving into 2025 with mainstreaming cryptocurrency. So, let us do this, all right? Here we go. The people of the world and the economy of the world are in a transition phase. People were being bridged into a new system right now. And it's so obvious. It's so in our face. Regardless of what you may have heard or think, this is what's going on here. So again, the people of the world and the economy of the world are in a transition phase. A transition into a new system with a new set of rules. For how many years have you and I sat here? Some of you have been with me since the beginning. Well over a decade. We've been saying this. A new set of rules, a new dynamic, a new paradigm. And we are watching it unfold here. People, global debt is surging as the world economy is free falling. Are we on the same page? Here in the United States, we have factory activity, manufacturing, industrial output, along with business activity overall in contraction. This was something else that you and I discussed would happen from years ago. It's not going to stop. It's going to get worse from here, and I want you to think about what it means. Why do you think we're being bridged or transitioned into a new system? This one is being systematically taken apart, piece by piece. Who's doing that? It's central banks who control the monetary system, the financial system as a whole, the markets, the currency, everything. It ain't presidents, kings, queens, dictators, or monarchs. When you wake up to that fact, maybe you'll start to see the light here. Okay, anyway. Moreover, ever since the beginning of the year, we are getting mass corporate layoffs, which was one of my main themes I said would happen at the end of last year, moving into 2024. I think we nailed that one to the wall. With that, debt and deficits continue to hyperinflate. Meanwhile, again, think about what we've been talking about. The U.S. economy is dead, it's buried, and all we've had is I can't even get it out of my mouth here. Incredible, off the freaking Richter scale, inflating of debt under Obama, under Trump, under Biden creature. It's not going to stop. For those of you that think things are going to change here, please start to think logically. Snap out of your delusion. All right? It's important. So anyway, meanwhile, despite all this, the U.S. stock market has hit no less than 52 new record highs in 2024. Why? Massive debt acquisition being pulled into existence. None more so. I'm just going to push this point home one more time. The last three presidents here, I'm going to go back over this, all right? Obama, Trump, and Biden have worked directly with the Federal Reserve to pull more debt into the now than every single president before them combined. Buys a lot of illusion here, all right? This is going to get real. Anyway, now, moving forward, we have banks with black hole balance sheets loaded with bad debt. And here in the United States, loan defaults are skyrocketing. What I should add is loan defaults around the world are skyrocketing. The financial system is absolutely bankrupt. We all know that. It operates in a perpetual vacuum. A black hole that can never be filled, and it's not meant to be filled. You understand? That's how it operates. Now, let's talk about something you may or may not know. So I think most of you get this point. First, in the truest sense, central banks are running a worldwide Ponzi scheme. If you're not familiar with what a Ponzi scheme is, look it up. Charles Ponzi. In doing so, to keep the Ponzi going, central banks must create currency. Why do you think we're seeing global debt balloon at where we are? Why are central banks ballooning the global money supply as the economy is contracting? It's a vicious cycle. But hold that thought. Anyway, the mechanism of vast currency creation is massively inflationary. And I'm going to explain why. Every dollar, euro, etc., which is created, whether it exists in digital or printed form, okay, to have any purchasing power must steal, most of you know this, must steal a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of purchasing power from every other already existing central bank note. When a central bank creates a dollar or a euro, whether it's digital and or otherwise, it's not automatically worth its face value. This is the mechanism of currency devaluation. It has to that newly created currency must steal purchasing power from every other existing central bank issued note, as I said here. And this mechanism, especially in an environment where the world economy is dead, takes a long time for those extra bills and whatever, or currency, whatever form they exist, to make their way to you. So it gets exacerbated during that process. Anyway, let's move forward here. This process, performed trillions of times, is why we have inflation. You didn't know that, did you? You wouldn't know that if you paid attention to any of the rhetoric, nonsense, garbage, vomitous puke stuff that came out of Trump's mouth and Kamala's mouth. Again, a blame game. No one pointing their finger at the Federal Reserve, who's responsible for monetary policy. Period. Okay? Everything to keep your eyes off the ball. You were deceived. You were distracted. Imagine our shock. Politics. It's an incredible situation. It makes me sick. Anyway, this process performed trillions of times is why we have inflation. Inflation occurs as the currency is devalued / loses purchasing power. This mechanism is made worse as the overall pool of available currency must grow. As more currency is produced and therefore devalued, okay, should make sense to you. Moreover, This process is again made worse as central banks use, this is what they're all doing now, none more so than the Federal Reserve, they're using this newly created currency to monetize the debt. This is how the government, which is of course the Federal Reserve, central banks are the government of the world, fund themselves and this illusion that we're in here. We are running debts and deficits that we've never seen before. Who makes up the difference? When we run a deficit, we can't just keep running deficits and debt can't keep expanding. Who's more than happy to make up the gap? Of course it's central banks, in this case the Federal Reserve. And the more debt a central bank can issue or is called on to issue via, let's say, a presidential selectee promises you lower rates, the stronger they become. Exponentially stronger, not weaker. Break out of that mindset that was sold to you during Trump's last tenure. Trump was trying to bankrupt the Fed. It was a lie. He was working with the Fed to make the Fed stronger. This is why central banks right now are the strongest entities on the planet Earth. Their product is debt. The more debt they issue, the stronger they become, not the weaker. We lose, they win. You understand? So when you hear that out of a YouTuber's mouth or wherever it may be coming from, realize you're listening to someone that is going out of their way deliberately, because there's no way they don't know this is true, to lie to you, to twist your brain as some kind of a psyop. You understand? Anyway, here we go. Today, central banks are in the process of lowering rates. We all know that. This is what they want to do. This is how they can issue more currency to the world and become stronger. Now, it's crazy, man. It just makes me it makes me so sick. Okay, anyway, to do this, central banks must create new currency and then again, obviously, buy the debt. This doesn't happen by decree. Here, this mechanism again is highly purchasing power negative. Are you guys following me so far? You realize what's happening? All right. This process again made even worse when a politician, this is what really gets to me like you have no idea, because it's the lies, it's the fact that these politicians here are preying on you because they think you're dumb. Most people have no idea how the system works, so they can get away with it. But it's about time that you and I start holding these non-human, subhuman entities to account here. So to do this, central banks must create new currency and buy vast amounts of debt. Here, this mechanism of highly purchasing power negative. This process is made even worse when a politician promises to lower rates way down. No president can lower rates on their own. They don't have the ability. A major campaign of President-select Trump was to promise lower rates. A president can certainly work closely with a central bank to lower rates, which obviously makes the central bank stronger. But presidents do not have the ability to create currency nor buy debt as to lower rates. And of course, lower rates means a loss of purchasing power. People, I'm going to tell you again, when a central bank is doing what we have now here, artificially suppressing rates, it kills the purchasing power of the currency. These are economic wrecking balls. Henceforth, why the world is in the situation where it is right now. Why we cannot succeed, especially with a presidential puppet promising you lower rates. You understand? And I also explained to you last week, the Fed is kind of in a spot here, and so is President Trump. President-select Trump here. By promising lower rates means the Fed's got to get in here, buy more debt, create currency to artificially suppress those rates, currency purchasing power negative. We have a dynamic in play, which you and I are looking at. That is looking at the 10-year yield and the federal funds rate. You see how the market has been responding as of late. It doesn't want to see par between the 10-year yield and the federal funds rate. This would send a negative message to the stock market. Could the Fed get in here, and most of you believe they're going to, get in here and buy more debt, suppress the 10-year yield, and therefore cut rates deeper, lowering the federal funds rate? Sure, they can. But I think it's going to be very hard for the Federal Reserve to justify that before the public or in the public eye, although the public is a bunch of morons. Quite frankly, they have no idea what's going on anyway. They just walk through time and space like the zombies that they are. Not you, if you follow this blog here. But the fact is, we still have an inflation problem. You remember it was temporary and transitory? Turned out not to be true. Imagine our shock. We said since day one it wasn't going to be true. Anyway, look, that was first. Second, by central banks continuing to flood the world with debt and puppet presidents promising lower rates, central banks get stronger, meaning we lose. Oh, make no mistake. Stock markets, corporations, the 1% and 2%ers, the money changers, all the banks, oh, they all thrive on artificially suppressed rates and currency devaluation. But for the average guy, the girl, the economy, low rates and currency devaluation are highly destructive. Are we on the same page? If you can't see this, again, I get it. You haven't been educated on this, but that's why I write this stuff for you people. This is why look, man, I know all this information. Why do you think I do this for free? I don't get paid to do this. I don't get paid by anybody to publish this stuff. You're going to see this show up in the Trends Journal. I don't take a single dime from Gerald Celente. Although he offered me cash to write articles, I said, Gerald, I'll do this for free because I want this information out there. I want people to hear and see for themselves what's happening so people can wake the freak up. You understand? Anyway, let us move forward here. So anyway, moving forward, this is where I really want you guys to, I laid out the groundwork here. If you're still not getting it, again, that's in your inbox if you subscribe to my newsletter. If not, if you don't subscribe for some freakishly insane reason, again, it's free, I want you to watch this video again. So anyway, moving forward, this is what we're going to see moving from right now up and through 2025. And I want you to think about what it means for you. You understand? All right. Currency devaluation will accelerate forward, which means that collectively central banks are going to gain power, which is, of course, their goal. Currently here in the United States, we are witnessing a phenomenon. People, do not make light of what I'm going to say. A bridge is being created into a new system. Trump and Musk are promising mass deregulation, which is being sold to an unknowing public as a way to shrink the government. Does that even sound right to you? Of course it doesn't. Use your God-given intellect here. You know it's hitting you the wrong way because it's not true. You're being deceived. Deregulation is happening for a bunch of reasons here. And it's going to allow the system to become more perverted than it is. There has to be parameters. There must be parameters to protect us. Again, Trump's last tenure, historic deregulation with regard to the banks, and I was talking about more. The safeguards that were put in place to protect you and me from having to bail out the system, they no longer exist. Now we can be forced to bail out or bail in the system, meaning the investment banks are going to look out for their own interest here, and they're going to use every avenue imaginable of things you can't dream about to add to their bottom line here. Like they're not profitable enough. This corporate thing that we're in right now, record profits. This year, Wall Street fat cats, the CEOs are going to get their largest bonuses in history. It's not enough. Let's make it easier for them to profit on our backs. Let's make it easier by, cutting their tax rate. You and I are going to pay more than they do. Oh, how does that work? Well, you were promised that too by our illustrious Trump. Anyway here, let us move forward here. This is just too freaking sick. All right, anyway, of course that doesn't sound normal to you. Now, moreover, Trump is in the process, again, of deregulating the banks, along with deregulating cryptocurrency, making the United States the crypto capital of the world. You know that. Not the constitutional money capital of the world. Adding cryptocurrency to the U.S. strategic reserves. Not gold. Why not gold? Because it would stand in the way as a roadblock of the Federal Reserve. I don't care what you've been told or what you may believe. To lower rates, and that was a campaign promise of Trump, he has to work with the Fed to do what the Fed's doing right now. Artificially suppressed rates, currency devaluation. How does that happen? By creating cash out of nothing. Wake up, man. Anyway, this process is being weaponized. In other words, what's happening here? Deregulation of the banks, deregulation of cryptocurrency, then merging the two, okay? It's a bridge. It's a bridge into the new tokenized system. It's being built right before your eyes. You don't want it, you're getting it anyway. Because you know why? Because you don't have the guts to stand up for yourself. Not specifically those of you that follow this blog. But people, those of you that do follow this blog, reach out. Reach out to everywhere. Explain to people what's going on here. Write to Trump. We don't want this. We don't want this bridge to this tokenized system, which is, people, you don't understand what maybe you don't, or maybe you do. Control. All this is about control. We are not only now one corporate state controlled by the government, which the government is the Federal Reserve, who is observing everything you do, everything you say, and even everything you think via AI, okay? We're being set up here. And I can promise you, this mechanism of control, a key component is the new tokenized system. And now we got a bridge, which is being built by the illustrious Trump, along with his, why not Vance? It's Trump. Trump and Musk, instead of Trump and Vance. Well, Musk is obviously, I told you from the beginning, this guy is supposed to be the czar to cut waste. No, he's the czar to help Trump bridge the system. The premier AI expert in the world, he's the czar of government. You gotta be kidding me. We know why he's put there. Why he was selected to be there. They're tag teaming us, man. Anyway, we're being bridged here. The process is being weaponized to mainstream cryptocurrencies. This process is a bridge. It's a bridge, nothing more, to the new tokenized singular system. Now, if you can't get that, if you don't understand what I'm saying, and I'm beating up Trump because he's God sent, well, listen, people, if you expect me not to do what I did throughout Obama, his entire tenure, I beat the living hell out of that guy. I called him out at every corner I could. Trump, I did the same thing during his last tenure. I will do it again. Bidenstein creature, mummified, vomitous puke. How many times have you heard me say that during his creature tenure right now? And if Kamala creature was selected, you think I would have let her off the hook too? We're being destroyed. These are puppets. You understand? This current puppet, very dangerous. Very dangerous with his alliance with Musk here. This self-proclaimed Satanist. You understand? Yeah. You don't like what I have to say? Is this really hurting your feelings? People, you know what I'm going to tell you. What do I always tell you? You don't like it? Get out of here. You don't belong here. This channel is not for everybody. This channel is for thinkers. People who understand, who are able to cut through the nonsense, raise the veil, and focus. That's what it's all about. Not for everyone. This is for lions. We eat the weak. You don't like that? It's tough. That's the way it's going to work. You understand? All right, look. I'm out of here. Covered a lot of stuff for you. So understand, we are being bridged into a new system. We're going to see mass currency devaluation, not just the dollar. Oh, sure, the dollar looks beautiful right now on a relative strength basis. It's the prettiest belle at the ball. What does that mean? Nothing. On an absolute basis, the dollar is continuing to be destroyed with regard to purchasing power. And you think this is going to end now just because we got a new puppet to sit behind the Resolute desk? You really believe that? Honestly. And you're not capable of seeing the bridge? You're not capable of seeing why banks are being deregulated more? Why cryptocurrency is going mainstream here, being deregulated? Why Trump is merging these two things here for the bridge into the new system? He may not be the guy who's going to institute the tokenized system, although he very well could be. It could just be the setup for the next guy or creature, thing, puke, to sit behind the Resolute desk. You understand? Anyway, look, man, I intend to give this to you very hard moving forward. If you can't handle the truth, if you can't handle my style, again, you don't belong here. I understand, and I accept the fact that this channel is not for everybody. Believe me, it's for thinkers. It's for those of us who have the best chance of getting through what's coming. And we are being thrust into a worst case scenario with regard to everything, people here. You think this market is not in la la land? You think Greg Mannarino doesn't know that? You think I don't understand the dynamics behind this whole thing where we're seeing here, where we're going to eventually go? You think I don't understand all that? You know I do. And I got your back. And I will never, ever let you down. If that means I have to give it to you even harder moving forward, oh, I will. You can guarantee that. I can guarantee that. I'll see you in the morning, people, all right? Think about the things these things that I've spoken about, especially this particular video. And I want you again, this is in your inbox, read through it, study it, think about what it means for you, because this is where we're going. We're being bridged, people. We're being bridged. And that means we lose. In the grander scheme, what do we change, people? Nothing. We're on the right path. We're going to take advantage of everything that we see coming forward here. I don't care how much you may not want this system and how much you might write to President-elect Trump. You're getting it anyway, because that's why he was put there, in case you don't know. People, I'll see you in the morning, all right? Until we meet again, please, take care of yourselves and take care of each other.